time, man. You gotta put in the time. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do everything the right way, right? There's always the right way and the quick way. There are some quick, shortcuts we can all take in life to do anything, but to me, it's about longevity and sustainability. And to have been able to do this sport as long as I have, it's because I've allowed myself to grow into this sport. I didn't also just be like, I'm going to do this. And then, take a few shortcuts or here or there. It's been a long process of a lot of ups and downs. I mean, there's been a lot of wins and there's been a lot of losses. I've had some great coaches. I've had some not so great coaches. For me, that's really where my struggle was either injuries or just not great coaches sometimes, where, again, just based on where I lived, being in Eastern Washington State, we had a very limited selection of coaching that we could tackle. And then I was always one of those people that wasn't quite sure about online coaching and reaching out to a coach, back east or something, just because I was not sure if I had the discipline and I needed someone there to count my reps, and train me in person. And then I think because I've been in the sport so long now, that using an online coach now for me it's great. Because I don't need anybody to count for me. I can count for myself.
So who's your coach? Who are you working with?
I have been working with Shelby Stearns the last year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just interviewed one of your Sable sisters.
Yeah.
That is Miss Renee Covell. She works
Okay.
for Shelby. And
Yeah.
I've met some ladies and I've known some ladies that have, he's like the female bodybuilder whisperer. I mean,
Yes.
him, I
Yes.
think Trey Hodge is very popular. Nasir is very popular.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, I think they truly understand the
Yes.
women's body chemistry, the makeup of a woman more than most men do. Because I've interviewed some ladies who work with guys who are, top level professionals, but sometimes they give a plan that might work for a man, but it won't, like
Right.
it's like the commercial, sweet secret strong enough for a man, but it's made for a woman, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah, no, you got to understand. And hey, I'm no spring chicken. I'm 47, right? So you got to understand how a woman's body works to a degree. Because my body at 47 isn't like your 27-year-old or even your 37-year-old, right? My body in the last decade has changed. And so, it's good to have coaches that understand that and are willing to open that dialogue with you and communicate with you about those things. And that's one thing I've really loved about Shelby and working with him this year is, he's just like, I want to hear whatever's going on. If it's great, then great. If it's not, you got to tell me. And he's been amazing. And I got lucky because Missy Truscott, as you know, is up in the Pacific Northwest with her husband Matt. And so I've had an opportunity to meet Missy a couple times throughout the years at different local shows where she's, shown up and watched some of the local NPC shows. And so I saw her at the O in Orlando. And after I turned pro, and we were chatting, and her and Matt, and I said, I need a new coach, and she's like, call Shelby, man, call Shelby. And so I said, really? And she goes, yeah, tell him I sent you. I was like, oh my goodness, okay. So and Missy's figure to me is it's amazing. It's amazing. So I saw that and I was like, let's go. Let's do this.
yeah. Missy is a top level. We wish her well because as you know, it wasn't that long ago where she had her injury, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it was. I mean, people were sending me things. Say, George, you saw this? I said, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Missy had fell. She blowed out her knee, and then also the same show, Whitney Jones.
Whitney
She
messed up her
pulled
shoulder.
her
Mm-hmm.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Fitness is a tough division.
Oh,
I
those women are the Wonder Women of bodybuilding, like hands down, no lie. If you told me on peak week, hey, you need to go do some cartwheels, I'd be like, are you out your damn mind? I ain't gonna do a cartwheel. A cartwheel. These girls, oh, those women, those are the Wonder Women. Like, yeah, hats off to those women.
I think I hadn't done a cartwheel maybe in like 40 years when I was a lot younger and a lot
Right?
smaller. I mean, I break my arms.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. We got here. This is from man Lawrence Perkins says, please respectful. Shout out, thank you, Lawrence. Also, same thing to David said, respect for her. I got it. Thank you. Also, Lauren says, impressive, ma'am. Also, he liked and David likes your beautiful on Instagram, and also one big happy family. And that's good that it's a big happy family. You got your husband, you got your boys. That old
Yeah.
saying, a boy's best friend is his mother. And I can tell you the truth, that was my mother was my best friend. I loved her, I miss her.
Uh-huh.
And and working with Shelby, and working in the sport, as you earned your pro card back in 2021, and you started making your debut the next year. Do you
Mhm.
feel like you were like we after you feel like most competitors would say like let me take a year or two off,
Yeah.
or let me grow a little bit because you're gonna step on the stage with the big dogs, and you say your first show was Sasquatch, you're kind
Yeah.
of nervous, but now you've been competing as long as you have. You ever look how the division has changed over the past 2 or 3 years since you've been a pro?
Yeah, again, I'm a firm believer of listening to Sandy, right? Sandy's like, you want to know what the pro looks like? Watch the O. And I've been to a couple O's, and I got some friends that are pros and some NPC competitors back home, and we kind of make a girls trip out of it each year. We go and we watch, and when you see Sarah and Natalia and some of these women, you're like, okay, that's where you're aiming for, right? But then again, you got to remember that the photos on the stage make us all look huge, comparatively speaking, right? So when you sit there and you're like, man, I got to get big. And then you go backstage to a show and you're like, wait a minute, I am as big as some of these women that have stepped on the Olympia stage, right? But I'm not as polished. I need that practice. And so, that was one of the things for me where I said, I want to go to a pro show because I want to know what I need to do next level, because there's NPC, there's pro, that's pro's next level, right? And so for me, I was like, I want to see what that looks like, what I look like standing in a lineup next to these women, some that have graced already the Olympia stage. And so, for me now, it's getting over that mental mindset of, you've